President Trump is sick and tired, I'll tell you, of the fake news media's negative coverage of all the good stuff that he's done since returning to the Oval Office. And spent the weekend, the president did, tearing into a host of outlets. There are a range to choose from, certainly. First, the president used an old photo, just great, of pre-Ozempic Reverend Al Sharpton, you know, from the 1980s to RIP MSNBC. And the president reminded us how the Reverend Al Sharpton orchestrated the Tawana Brawley rape hoax, that giant fraud back in 1987. I think that led to riots against the Jewish people, and one Jewish guy was murdered in the Al Sharpton riots there, and that was all just fine. That's not a part of his permanent record. And then the president called out the chairman of the fake news NBC, who gave him what would become one of the lowest rated shows. The Reverend Al Sharpton gave him a show, one of the lowest rated shows in television history, as the president put it. President Trump writing, Roberts, the big boss there, is afraid to take him off because it wouldn't be politically correct. Actually, and he'd be sued into oblivion. This is just one of the many reasons, the president said, that the Federal Communications Commission should look into the license of NBC, which shows almost exclusively positive Democrat content and exclusively negative Republican content. That makes it even-handed, I think, according to NBC. The president also tearing into Fox News. Fox News, the president tearing into Fox News, asking, why is Fox News and Peter Doocy putting on Democrat Senator Mark Kelly to talk about totally unabated or challenged health care? And that's a perfectly good question. The fake spin is so bad for Republicans that it is hard to believe that we win. And it's true, it is hard to believe that Republicans win anything. President Trump continues. Fox should either get on board or get off board. They suck up the ratings because of us. Then they spin them in the Democrats' direction. And very, very often true. Concluding, the president said, Republicans are so tired of this fight with Fox always trying to be so politically correct. Now, this is pretty great stuff. And the president is on target, of course. And it's true, you know, the Reverend Al Sharpton and MSDNC, MS-13DNC, and all that good stuff. Also, I'd just like to point out that the Reverend Al Sharpton was ordained as a minister, I'm making quotation marks with my fingers, when he was either 9 years old or 10 years old. He's not sure which.
So Tiana pointed out we don't even have time to get to the Gaza hostage negotiations today. I just want to say, President Trump, get the hostages out and then turn it to glass. That is, we'll talk more about that tomorrow, I'm sure. But Chris, you were right to point out that the Reverend Al Sharpton, of course, led to a pogrom that's been completely written out of the pages of history. Yeah. And look at Jimmy Kimmel's numbers since he returned. No one's watching it, and I think I understand why. He's not funny. And honestly, subjecting people to watching that is, I think, would violate the Eighth Amendment prohibition, which I'm not sure I support, but on cruel and unusual punishment. Mm-hmm. The Democrats are only willing to subject themselves to so much torture. They tried watching to stand in solidarity, to own Trump. It's just like how Democrats in Illinois and in California and Oregon are suing on behalf of illegal immigrant criminals. But then they realized, okay, we can do literally anything else with our time whatsoever. And it reminded me, I don't know if you saw this because no one saw it, Hakeem Jeffries during the government shutdown, he led a live stream of Democrats complaining about how they shut the government down, and they had fewer than 100 people watching. That means that not even half of the Democrats in the House were watching their live stream. So Democrats, it's not just that they have a content problem, they have a messaging problem, and no one wants to consume it. So I don't know how they deal with it.
Well, they don't have...
That's up to them to figure out.
It's a left-of-center wide issue where they don't appeal to anyone's self-interest, right? Like, we'd like to believe that politics, you want to be high and mighty in terms of voting with your dollars and what you support in the polls. But also, at a certain level, you have to appeal to people's self-interest.
Kill Republicans.
You can't just want to you know, bomb crap and burn stuff down.
I want to do that in Gaza.
Okay, but take the Hamas ideology. What Hamas does to civilians is what Jimmy Kimmel does to comedy, and what NBC does to news. It's why Barry Weiss just got paid $150 million to take over CBS News.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.